It's official, like a referee with a whistle. So like and share this episode. So yeah, you know, we back at it, man. We out in these streets, out in these North Carolina streets at the moment. I'll be hitting the road for a couple of days. And I've been meeting people online for a long time. But I'm going to this event and I'm meeting people before I even get to the event. And I've been doing this type of thing for a long time. Probably like 20 years now. 20 I think from the time, let me get this straight. Smash that like button and share the video. I think I've been online for 20 years. And when I say I've been online for 20 years, I'm talking about during the MySpace days. How many people remember that? MySpace.com. During the MySpace days. I had my first account on MySpace. And I had a Black Planet. I used to be on Black Planet too. And I think on Black Planet I think that's where I first met. I started chatting with somebody online and I met her in person within 2 to 3 days. And that was the first time I'd done anything like that. And at the time, I didn't know anybody that was doing that. I didn't know. The only person that I found out later on that was meeting people online was one of my homeboys. One of my homeboys back home named Tony Smith, back home. He was the first guy other than me that I knew that was meeting people online. And when I say meeting people online, I'm not talking about some old, somebody, a booger wolf. No. I'm talking about somebody that you could show off to your mama. This is the type of chicks I've been meeting. Yeah, because I'm not talking about somebody that you be ashamed of having around your buddies or your friends and your family. No, I'm meeting badass chicks all over the country at the time. And I was so naive to how things would happen at the time. A lot of the stuff, man, I was kind of learning as I was going, basically. And that's how I found out what works, what don't work so well, what to watch out for, who to watch out for. You got to watch out for the jackers and the robbers, women that's trying to set you up, And you know what's crazy? While I was out here meeting people, because I'm on the highway every week. I'm traveling every week. This went on for from 2000 when I got out of the Navy, basically. From 2000 all the way to 2012. I'm out of town every weekend, every other weekend, all over the country at the time for 12 years straight. I had a Honda Civic at the time, brand new, straight off the lot. And that within that first year, I had 75,000 miles the first year on my Honda Civic, which is crazy if you really think about it. Think about that. I put 75,000 miles on my Honda Civic the first year, brand new. And at the time, somebody was telling me that the average driver might get 10,000 miles a year. And I'm like, oh, for real? And it's like, yeah, and you got 5,000 within the first 2 months. And I'm like, oh shit, I didn't even know that, bro. I'm just out here doing my thing, you know what I'm saying? I don't know, shit. That's a brand new car. It should be okay, you know what I'm saying? This is my mentality at the time. You know, I'm like all over the country. I'm in Virginia, North Carolina, all over South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, Texas. I'm all over the place. I'm Michigan, Detroit. I'm all over the place, bro. California, which is crazy if you really think about it. And you know, nothing ever happened to me while I was out there. Now, did I have some run-ins? You better believe it. Hell yeah, I had some run-ins with cops and with all kinds of people. Let me tell you something. You can't avoid, if you're out and about, going to the clubs like I was, going to all the events all across this country, you're going to run into somebody. There's wolves out here. There's vultures out here. You can't avoid it. And I tell you what, when you're out here traveling and moving and shaking and all that, you better have some money, because you're going to need it. Because in a lot of these small little hick redneck towns, man, they living poor. They ain't got no money. So these towns have to generate money somehow. And you know how a lot of these small little hick towns generate money? By pulling your ass over. By the police pulling your ass over and giving you tickets. That's how they generate a lot of money off of us, basically. By pulling your ass over and giving your ass tickets. Them high $200, $300, $400 tickets. That's what them small redneck towns, that's where a lot of that their money comes from. When I say small towns, I'm talking like a town with 1 red light, 2 red light, small towns like that, all across America. The police be on your ass if you're just passing through these towns, you know? And of course, I didn't know, I ain't never been to most of these towns. I ain't never drove across country in the Midwest or down south like that. No, this is all new to me. So I'm naive to what's really out here. All I know is there's some people in that town that I can probably see, because I've been chatting with them, and I called them. We talked on the phone a couple times. And I said, hey, if I'm ever in that area, I'm gonna pull up on you. Of course, they say, yeah, right? That's all I knew. I didn't know nothing but the town itself. No, I didn't know. That's how naive I was. And you got to think about it. This is not, the internet ain't like it is today. Wasn't like it is today back then. This is 2001, 2002. You couldn't look up these damn towns. Man, most of these towns didn't even have a website back then. Think about that. Most towns back then didn't even have a website. So how was I going to find out information about most of these towns? I couldn't. As best as I could do is meet somebody that was from there. That's the best I could do at the time. Really. And I would call everybody I knew and say, hey, you ever been to this town, that town? Some say yeah, some say no. You know? But nothing ever happened to me. But I had run-ins with cops, plenty of cops. I ran in. And check this out. You know what's crazy? I was one of those guys that used to curse cops out. I mean, hey, why the fuck you stop me? I was that guy. I was that guy. I used to curse cops out. I used to say, hey, why the fuck you stop me? Because I knew they didn't have a good reason to stop me. That was my attitude at the time. But over time, somebody was like, hey, you need to cut that shit out. You don't want to be arguing with some old crazy cop on the side of the road. You know, just live to fight another day and handle that shit in court or get you an attorney or something like that. But don't be arguing with no cop on the side of the road. And I stopped doing it. I never done it again. You know, so I done cursed plenty of cops out. You know, which was, I learned that's not the best thing to do. You know, but I'm in my 20s at the time. Shit, I'm young, wild, and I didn't give a fuck. You know, I was that guy. You know, I was that guy. Look, I was rolling so hard across this country. My cousins used to have to call me during the weekday to see where I was at the time. That's how much I was rolling across this country. All down south, Midwest, West Coast. Most of the time I would drive, and sometimes I would fly. And that's how I learned how to meet people online. Because back in the day, you had Plenty of Fish, BlackPlanet.com. It was another one out that was popular back then too. But Plenty of Fish was my shit. That was the one that I met the majority of people on. And you know, I even met people on MySpace. And MySpace is not a dating site, but I would meet people on sites like MySpace with the intentions of getting to know them personally. Because you don't necessarily have to be on a quote dating website, you know, to want to meet somebody in person. You know what I'm saying? You don't. It just depends. The site is just a tool for you to use. That's how I always looked at it. You know, I never say, hey, I'm on Facebook, so that means I can't ask you to get on the phone with me. No, I can do what I want as long as the person responds back to what I'm talking about in the DMs. That's how that works. I don't care if it's a social media website or a dating website or YouTube. I don't care. Whatever. As long as the person is giving me attention, I have the opportunity to get at them and get them on the phone as quick as possible. That's how I always looked at it. Really, you know. So, but check, but something, but at one, I think 2012, something happened, and it's happening today too. 2012, they started flooding this country with immigrants, and they're doing the same thing. They did the same thing last year before Trump got elected. Now, a lot of these immigrants, they crossing the Mexican border, coming from all over the world at this point. They're coming from Colombia, China, Brazil. They're coming from all over the goddamn place. It seems like they're flying to Mexico and they coming jumping the border, right? That happened in 2012 too. I remember that. And you know how I remember that? Because I was meeting some of these same women all over the country. Places like, especially Florida, Tampa, Miami, Fort Lauderdale, California, Texas. I'm meeting some of these women, and I'm getting to know them, and they telling me they're here illegally, right? And at the time, they're telling me, "Oh, I don't got a green card." I didn't even know what the fuck green card was at the time. I'm like, "What the hell is a green card?" I said, "Oh, that's when you become. That's how I can stay here illegally. That's how I can stay here legally. I can become like the closest thing to a U.S. citizen, basically, you know. But now you got a lot of these same broads that's looking out the window for ICE agents because they're afraid of being deported. And then after 2012, that's when a lot of guys started coming on YouTube talking about they going to Colombia. They've been to Colombia. They've been to Brazil. They've been to Mexico. They've been to where else? They say they've been to down there. I've been to Chile, Peru, Bolivia, Guyana, man, damn near all them damn countries down there. But I'm like, bro, you ain't got to go over there to them. You don't got to go there to them other countries no more. They already over here. What sense does that make? Hell, I don't know about you, but where I live, I can go downtown right now to a bar, nightclub, bar and grill. It's full of Colombian women. Colombian women there, Dominican women there, Mexican women there. Now, half of them are going to be illegal now. They've probably been here for a couple of months, but they be nervous as hell. They be like, shit, and they'll talk to you. I mean, they probably don't speak no English. I don't speak no Spanish. So that's usually a problem. I be sitting there struggling trying to talk to these damn women. But they be down for the get down. Like I said, you got to look at it from their point of view. They have nothing to lose. They're here illegally, but they ain't really that picky when it comes to a man. They not. That's just reality. What do they have to lose by talking to me or talking to you? If we show some type of interest, why would she say, "Oh, I don't want to talk to you"? I mean, come on, that don't make no sense. Unless you already have somebody. Okay, all right, that makes sense. If she got somebody, okay, cool. But if she's in the nightclub or at the bar, there's a good chance she ain't got nobody. She probably don't got nobody. She probably looking for somebody. Now if you go to the grocery store, one of them international grocery stores with that sell, I guess they sell Mexican food, all kinds of different food from all the Latin American countries, basically. If you got one of those stores near you in your town or in your city, if you go to one of them stores, a lot of them women, they have families that go shopping there. And a lot of them women, they come in the store with a guy. So they already got somebody, unless you work at the cash register or work in the store or something like that. That's a different story. But the girl that's working in the store, 9 times out of 10, she's single. She ain't got nobody. And most of these girls working in the store, for the most part, they're young. In the 20s, early 30s, at best. Most of them are single. Yeah. And a lot of them look decent. Girl. I saw one girl when I was when I went to one of them stores. That ass, she had on some jeans. That ass was shooting out that pants. God damn. That ass was shooting out that pants. And I just assumed maybe she's Dominican or Colombian or something like that. You know what I'm saying? She's probably not Mexican. I doubt it. Mexican women don't, they asses, they don't really have bodies like that. It's okay, but not like that. That ass is shooting out that pants. That's, I'm just saying, hey, you know what I'm talking about. I'm laughing, but you know what I'm talking about. But a lot of these women, if they work at the store, they're probably single. And a lot of them speak English. But I don't know if that's part of the job description or whatever, but they speak English. A lot of them do. Based on my experience. But a lot of these girls, that's at the bar, at the nightclub, they're single, man. You can get at them. Shit, you can get at them all day, every day. Yeah, especially if you live on like Florida, places like Florida, Tampa, South Florida, Miami, no problem, bro. If that's what you're looking for, you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, if that's what you're looking for, no problem. California, no problem. Texas, no problem. You can get these women be choosing. Like, for real. Especially when I tell a Latin girl my name, it's a wrap. No problem. The only problem I usually have, I can't speak Spanish. I can understand a little bit, but I can't speak. So there's a language barrier there. A language problem for me, personally. So the girls that you're looking for, the girls that you see in Colombia, man, they're already over here. What you going over there for? You wasting your time and money going over there. Man, they're already over here, bro. You can go to the nightclub or go to the bar. There's spots where these girls hang out at every weekend. You can spend not even half of your money. Just go to these nightclubs, go to these bars where they hang out at instead of getting on a plane and flying goddamn the Colombia was 4 or 5 hours away? Hell no. And Now, people ask me, hey, have I ever been to Colombia? No, I have no desire to go. What I'm going to Colombia for? What for? What is there to do in Colombia? I don't know. I don't hear anything. I don't have no desire to go. I look at it like this. I don't want to go anywhere that's known for the cocoa leaf. Yeah, I'm serious. I don't want to go anywhere that's known for the cocoa leaf. What I'm going there for? Man, people always calling me when when I'm when I'm going live. But yeah, I don't really have no desire to go there. But the same girl that's over there in Colombia, they're already here. So if I really wanted to meet a Colombian girl, a Dominican girl, hell, I'll just go to some spots near me where I live at. I mean, there are a lot of Dominicans and Colombians in New York and Miami. So what the hell I'm going across? Why would I go that far? It's fun. I can have fun here. You know what I'm saying? For less money and time. You know? That's how I see it, though. You might disagree. You might say, hey, man, shit, I still want to go to Colombia. I know I can meet girls here, but I want to go to Colombia anyway. And that's cool. That's your prerogative. But if I can meet the same girls here that's over there in Colombia, I'll just stay over here and meet them. You know what I'm saying? I'm not looking for that shit. I mean, if it happens, it happens. But here's the thing. I've met a bunch of Colombian girls, American girls, a bunch of these girls. But check this. Here's a problem that I have with a lot of these girls. It's the mindset. It's the mindset that I have a problem with. Their mindset, the way they think, is I get along. I could get along with them for the short term, but for the long term, no. It's their way of thinking that's I just can't be around anybody like that. You know, it's yeah. Yeah, once you get past the looks, the big ass and tits, I'd be like, yeah, she's nice to look at. She's nice to talk to. It's okay. But yeah, you know, something's just missing. The vibe is kind of off. You know, a lot of these women are kind of all over the place mentally, and a lot of them are Catholics too. That's another thing. So, what I've learned is the God that they're praying to don't look like me, and it don't look like her. The God that they're praying to looks like a white man, and they give the God that they're praying to all the credit. I don't care what happens, positive or negative. The God gets all, their God who they're praying to gets all the credit. and their God looks like it don't look like them and it don't look like me. So that's a problem, and they don't believe that this is based on my experience now. The women that I've met, and I've met hundreds of these women, hundreds at this point. They don't believe that I would say they don't have high self-esteem. Like, I give you an example. The girl, let's take these girls in the video that we're looking at right now. The girls in the video right now that we're looking at, you might say, oh, that bitch is bad. She's beautiful, right? Right? But she might not think so. Think about that for a second. You might look at her, she be butt naked. Right? And you be like, God damn, she got a badass body, right? And in your mind, you be like, yeah, she's bad, yo. But in her mind, she might think she's just another gal. She's a jag, just another gal. She have low self-esteem. It's like she probably been beaten down mentally and probably even physically. Because, boy, these guys in these other countries, they hell on a bitch, boy. Woo-wee. Great, dog. They hell on a bitch in these Latin countries. That's another thing. Yeah. That's another thing you have to take into account. Because they're raised different compared to how we're raised over here. That's a fact. Matter of fact, if how I treat a woman, like let's say a Colombian girl, how I would treat a Colombian girl, she probably be blown away. Cause she's like, oh, I ain't never had a guy do nothing like that. Cause them other dudes don't treat them. They treat them different. And that's how they were raised. That's how they were socialized. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just telling you how it is. The way I do things is it ain't necessarily how they do things. How I treat people around me, it ain't necessarily like it ain't gonna be the same. And that's okay. I'm not saying nobody's wrong, nobody's right. That's just how it is. And look, you can meet these girls online and offline. Probably offline, probably probably easier in my opinion. And I've met, like I said, I met these girls online and offline. It don't matter to me at this point, And check this out. I created a program talking about everything I just told you about in this video. But of course, I didn't go into details because I can't go into details. Because if I was to go into details about how I did it, they'd probably pull a video down. Because you got a lot of haters on you got YouTube haters, man. You know what I'm saying? You got YouTube haters, unfortunately. You got people that don't want certain information to get out. And they have a lot of favoritism. You know what I'm saying? That's how it is. So what I did is I put it in video and audio format, and I talked about it for about 2 hours. About 2 hours, man. And that's the link right here. I'm put it in the chat. You know? Yeah, I talked about it. And the stuff that I do, I don't hear nobody else talk about it. You know why? Because I've lived long enough to figure out what works and what doesn't work. I mean, if you're 25, how much are you going to really know at 25? How much you really going to know at 25? I just be honest. I mean, there's a lot of shit I didn't know at 25. Once I look back at it. But you know, there's a lot of people online that they do a bunch of talking, and there's a lot of ops online too. That's another thing. You got to be careful. You got to be careful about who you get your information from. There's a lot of ops online. A lot of these people are working with law enforcement. That's just reality today. That's why you got to be careful what you put out here on here. Because if you say the wrong thing about the wrong person, it could be used against you. This is why I don't call nobody else. I don't call people's name. I don't talk about anybody. Because I don't got time. You know, I don't got time for nonsense. You know, I just do my podcast, and I got a couple websites, and I come on here every once in a while and do a live and kick it, talk shit, and that's it. You know, that's really it. Yeah. But if you need any help, the link is in the chat, or just go to loveatfirstclick.com/dating. That can help you out. That's going to show you how I was able to meet women all across the country and the world. I know people worldwide still to this day, you know, and nothing ever happened to me when I was traveling. Like I said, did I have run-ins? You better believe it. You can't live in America without having any type of run-ins, especially if you're a black man. Forget about it. Don't be naive. See, I've been naive, but I wasn't that naive. And see, once you start traveling in these other countries, most of these people are uncivilized in these other countries. They still thinking like people did 100, 200 years ago, or sometimes longer than that. They don't have no modern way of thinking like we do over here in North America. I'm not saying it's right. Our way of thinking is right, but I'm just telling you how it is. Our way of doing things in North America, somebody in Nigeria would think we're crazy as hell. Or somebody in China would think we're crazy as hell. Or somebody in, say, let me pick a country. Somebody in South America would say we're crazy as hell. I'm not saying they're right and we're wrong, but People are people. People are socialized differently everywhere you go. That's the point I'm trying to make. That's where a lot of the run-ins come in. And yeah, P.S. by the way, I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna end this. These guys and these other groups are never going to be happy that you're talking to their women. I don't care what the mama says, the dad says, the brother says, the sister say, or even what you think. I don't even care what she say. These guys, I don't care what country you're talking about. I don't care how they might have rolled out the red carpet for you. But let me tell you something. I learned this the hard way. These guys are never going to be happy that you flew all the way from North America, all the way to Colombia, all the way to Brazil, all the way to Australia, all the way to Kenya, all the way to Peru, all the way to the UK, all the way to the Philippines, all the way to Japan. These guys are never going to be happy that you flew all the way over there to date his sister, to date his daughter, to date her daughter, and marry her. They're never going to be happy with that shit. And you're always going to be the foreigner. Believe that. And that's never going to change. I don't care well, if you're from America, I don't care if you're black, you're white, how much money you got, you're rich, you're poor, whatever. You're always going to be the foreigner. Remember that. They'll tolerate you, but don't be looking for that Southern hospitality. Don't be looking for that motherly treatment from your mama or your grandma, depending on how old your grandmother is. A lot of mothers, grandmas, 50, 55, 50 today. 45, grandma, 40 years old today. I'm talking about big mama. Don't be looking for that type of treatment from these other women when it comes to their mom. Nah, it ain't gonna be like that. And you're not obligated to do anything for their family either. That's another thing. I see a lot of guys, they get to tricking off, start doing too much when they meet a lot of these women. Giving the family money. Man, I'm not doing that shit. What I'm doing that for? I ain't obligated to do that. Oh, they need help. Shit, I need help too. Why don't we help each other? I ain't no damn bank. Shit. Now, if we help each other and make some money together, okay, I'm with that. But I ain't gonna bankroll your family. No. No, I ain't doing that shit. I ain't never done that shit. I don't do that in America. Why the hell would I do it in another country with another woman? That don't make no sense. But I know a lot of guys that do that shit. That's what we call tricking off. Now, some people will say, well, it ain't tricking if you got it. Nah, fool. Tricking is tricking. You can be a poor trick, working class trick, or a rich trick. A trick is a trick, either poor or rich. Stop it. But hey, that's all I got. Any questions, man? I'm gonna put the link in here real quick. I'm putting the link in here real quick. And we can chat a little bit. But other than that, I'm gonna be gone. Football is on. It's coming on tonight. Yeah, football is already on. Football is already on. It's Thursday night. Yeah. Yes, sir. Thursday night. Yeah. What the hell? But other than that, I'm gonna be come. But hey, that's all I got. Like, share this video when you watch the playback. Until next time, I'm out. Did you like that video? If you want more of that, it's right here. Boss Life Secrets on Amazon.com. And share this video. Until next time, I'm out. Peace.